Why is 2014 back, and why are we all obsessed with it?
Shake that.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Hello my jewels, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Sydney J, and let's get into indie sleaze. Okay, hi. Before we get into this video, I just want to say that literally this video would not even be possible without Mandy Lee. This entire trend has been trend forecasted by her, and if you want to learn more about it, she definitely knows way more about it. So just wanted to say that. I linked some of her links down below if you're interested. I'll talk about her a little bit later, but yeah, enjoy the video. So you're probably wondering, what even is indie sleaze? That kind of sounds like a slur. That's what I thought too. Anyway, British Vogue writer Alex Kessler describes indie sleaze as a messy analogram of 90s grunge and 80s opulence with a slightly erotic undertone topped off with an almost pretentious take on retro style. In English, it's 90s grunge meets 70s punk. If you're into the rockstar girlfriend aesthetic, it's really close to it, except not as much leather in my opinion, but it still incorporates leather. This trend includes oversized plaid shirts, band tees, denim cutoffs or boyfriend jeans, opaque ripped tights, Doc Martens, and boots, specifically booties. People like Alexa Chung, Alex Ferreira, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were really rocking the style back then. This was kind of a really big style from 2000s to early 2010s. It was really a really big trend on social. It was the first really huge trend on social media in the forms of Twitter, Facebook, kind of Instagram, but mainly Tumblr. Now there are a lot of different aesthetics and stuff and fashion styles that were really big on Tumblr, but indie grunge, those were kind of the and twee. Those were kind of a few of the biggest fashion styles that were really big, and Tumblr was a really big fashion outlet. It was a place where everybody lived for fashion. Me, at the time, I was 10, 11, 12, and I wasn't allowed to have Tumblr, and also Tumblr was starting to die. So what did I use? Pinterest. And Pinterest was probably the first time that I actually really got into fashion and taught myself all the different fashion genres at the time. But it was how I figured out indie fashion, grunge fashion, and how I got into it. And one of my favorite Tumblr accounts that would seep its way onto Pinterest was Christie's Closet. If you remember it, you're an OG Pinterester. But Christie's Closet was so monumental to me because it was the one main Pinterest account that was all the trends. It was so effortless, it was so femme, it was so 2014, and I was obsessed with it. And her Tumblr account is sadly blocked, I think. I don't know what's going on. That was a really big, Tumblr account that I liked, even though I was never on Tumblr. But comment down below your favorite Tumblr account, your favorite fashion account, or Pinterest favorite fashion account. I don't know, could be me. Follow me on Pinterest. But anyway, let's talk about some 2014 indie sleaze, but in popular culture. So some of the biggest non-fashion related trends that I've kind of noticed since after COVID was flash photography. Film photography was really, really big 2020, and it still is. I don't think that it's ever gonna go out of style, but I think flash photography is definitely starting to get bigger and bigger. I've seen a lot of Insta, people doing random filters on TikTok. I've also seen it a lot more I personally use it on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Another popular thing that I've noticed, which is a very big 2010s thing, was headphones. Headphones were they're a trend that screams 2014, 2013, 2011. Everybody had a pair of headphones, whether they were the little Apple earbuds or the really bulky Beats, Beats by Dre. They were just, really big at the time. And for a minute, we were all rocking wireless headphones, whether those were the Bose little ones or AirPods, you name it. But recently, especially in popular culture, I've seen a lot more famous people wearing earbuds with wires or headphones, specifically the new AirPods Max, which was kind of terrifying because I was why is this coming back? Now let's talk about music, because I feel like specifically music really has a lot to do with fashion, whether you believe it or not. Now, specifically in indie sleaze and indie fashion back in the 2010s, artists, specifically alternative and EDM artists, were really, really big. Like, something that I noticed a lot, like a really popular fashion trend, which I mentioned earlier, was band tees. And these bands, people actually listen to. Bands or artists like Lana Del Rey, Tame Impala, Arctic Monkeys, The Killers, 1975. Lord. I feel like these artists were definitely really big at the time, and they were also kind of like the sad, emo, you know what I mean? Like those specific type of people who would, you know. But I see a resurgence of alternative music like this coming back from artists like Boy Genius, Faye Webster, Gracie Abrams, the list goes on. And also not just in alternative music, but also like in pop and electronic / 80s music. This is where like the 90s rock / 80s like pop music, I feel like has been resurging, from Taylor Swift re-recording her 1989 to Beyonce's Renaissance to Ariana Grande's newest song, Yes And, which was super 80s, the whole thing. And her wearing a skater skirt, terrifying, but cute. But I think this is definitely an important way to show that this is coming. This is a trend. It's coming. It's coming in the worst way. Now, today, I feel like there are definitely modern artists and modern songs that are trending, and I can talk about that forever. But I'm going to be talking about on TikTok how a lot of 80s music and 90s like rock, alternative artists have been trending. Specifically, these songs, really big on TikTok. Some of them still are, some of them aren't. I don't know, you might have seen it. They have their own trends, you know, etc., etc., etc. But these have definitely been trending. I mean, TikTok is kind of, you know, like a big way that people find music. But personally, I've been into like, and I've been finding older artists, specifically from the 80s, which has been really cool. I found like different Michael Jackson songs that I hadn't heard ever. You know, we usually just hear the hits. Now, I usually like to get specific and talk about a specific designer or, you know, things I've seen on the runway. But I feel like this video is very specific towards technology and social media. And I think I want to talk about a specific artist who has implemented this trend very well and none of us saw it or realized it. And that's Olivia Rodrigo. Let's talk about her Insta feed. Ever since Sour dropped and she wasn't dropping music after, you know, she won Grammys, after that, she went on a very long hiatus. And around, I would say, the beginning of 2023, I want to say, is kind of when you start to see your Instagram feed become less purple and, you know, more red, white, black, maybe purple was more so implemented towards the Closer to Guts release. But even in her red carpet looks, she was wearing a lot more minimalistic things. It was still a little bit Y2K, but she was wearing a lot more just black. Like sometimes she'd wear like a neutral outfit, but it wasn't anything like, you know. And then after Guts was released, I noticed she, in her live performance outfit, specifically her Jingle Ball performance, kind of implement indie sleaze in the most simplistic ways possible. And I feel like she's the perfect person to do it because she is kind of, I feel like, fitting because she's a singer. And I feel like this specific trend fits towards the rockstar girlfriend aesthetic. Recently, I feel like that's the most style that like fits this. So her doing that even fits the trend perfectly. And it was also a really cool way of showing that like she's doing rock music, because rock was a really big genre that was huge back then. So let's talk about recent trends or upcoming trends that you're going to be seeing if you want, or you can implement in your style if you are obsessed with indie sleaze. Animal print. Animal print was something that keeps coming and going, and I'm like, can you stay or can you go? It was a really big resurgence back in like 2018, 2019. We more so saw it on like skirts, sometimes shirts and dresses, but I feel like today, and I've seen this from Mandy Lee's Instagram. By the way, this whole trend was like predicted by Mandy Lee, so if you're more into it, she has like a bunch of like TikToks about it. It's really interesting, and she's also written a couple articles. I'll link that down below. But cheetah print and animal print, I think, are definitely going to come back. We saw it like I said, in 2018, 2019, but it came in 2020 / 2021 with, you know, the purses. I have it somewhere. I think it's the middle one. You can't see it, but I have a little cheetah print purse. But I think it's going to come back in like accessories again, but also cheetah print jackets. That is going to be a really big thing. Also, I think cheetah print hot pants. That's also like bottoms, like pants, skirts, jeans, shorts. I think that's going to be a hit. And also just like accessories like cheetah print sunglasses, cheetah print hats. I just see animal print in general, just, you know. White, okay, this is going to be really specific, but I know you'll understand what I'm talking about. White sheer pieces with black undergarments underneath. So you're probably like, huh? It's this. See, I have my take on indie sleaze. I have this really cool grid plaid shirt, which I got from Paris from one of my friends. What the heck? And then I have a little white tank top. It's a little cropped white wife beater. But this is kind of the trend, kind of not. So here are a couple pictures. But this trend is like you wear a white tank top. It might be really tight or it might be a little bit oversized, or just a white t-shirt that's very, very sheer, or a white dress. And you wear a black bra underneath. Now this trend is... I love this trend. I feel like it's the definition of indie sleaze because it's so sleazy, you know? But yeah, and I feel like I talked about this in a little bit of my Why is Fashion So Girly Right Now trend, but like basically like think of like this trend. You see like even though it's lace, it's still white, like white tops, white dresses, but with black undergarments. This was a trend really big in like summer last year, and I still think it's big. Like people are still wearing this, but I think it's going to start being a little bit more simplistic and, you know, lots of black. Now this, I feel like it's kind of, and this is kind of a tie-in with 90s minimalism, which I'll talk about in a second, but in 2020 we had an obsession with the crazy patterns, the funky prints. Like it was just kind of insane, which is definitely a very early 2000s trend. A lot of patterns, a lot of like just very bright, very color, you know. But this is kind of going to be the opposite. There's going to be a lot of like not too many colors. I feel like if you're into this trend, it's very like black, white, red, denim, and a print, like maybe 2 or 3 different prints, and then that's it. Like it's not really that hard to do, and I think this kind of sums it up. Black is also just like a really easy color to style, and I feel like in this specific trend, people were wearing like either a black accessory or black jackets, black plaid shirts, black jeans, black shorts, you know, black tights. It's very much embedded into this trend, so it makes sense. Hot pants. Now this trend I really don't like, but I feel like this is like the epitome of 2010s fashion. I don't really follow it, and a lot of people hate this trend. I personally do, but I remember a lot of like singers and songwriters, and the only way that I remember, like have a really fond memory of this is the Bang Bang music video. Ariana, she wore it in that music. She wore it in a lot of her music videos, actually. That was like a really big style thing that she would wear a lot for her second and maybe third album. But hot pants were really big, you know, just really like micro shorts basically, or not even shorts, honestly, at this point, just underwear. Definitely a place that screams American Apparel, and I feel like this trend originated in the 70s, and typically people back then would wear it with some go-go boots and a halter top, but I feel like today that's completely different, and I feel like we're gonna see this being styled in a bunch of different ways. I've seen people wear it with the really large oversized coat, a little cardigan. I don't know, it's weird. I'm not really into this trend, so... But yeah, and then the last trend, which I talked about earlier, 90s minimalism. I think this trend has been coming in and out of fashion recently a lot, but I think it's really coming back today. 90s minimalism, I don't really think of, when I think of 90s fashion, people automatically think Clueless, which I feel like nobody really knows this, but like the costume designer, Mona May, she really specifically wanted the fashion to be so not 90s, which means that like in 90s, the biggest fashion trend was like minimalism, because it was like a response to like the 80s like maximalism, because we all remember, if we all think of the 80s, we know how chaotic the style was back then, but the 90s was very chill, very bland in my opinion. Not fully, but like thinking of shows like Friends, I think the fashion was very boring. I think like Brandy Melville, again, American Apparel. I think not Brandy Melville now specifically, but Brandy Melville 2015, 2016. The pieces were very simplistic, nothing crazy, you know, mob jeans, the boyfriend jeans trend, black booties, like that. I don't really see anything too crazy with this trend other than like maybe the cheetah print. But yeah, I think the biggest part of this trend is just being able to put all these three things, or put three or more of these trends together possibly, or just using one of them. But I would say these trends kind of scream indie sleaze a little bit, because indie fashion in 2014 was heavily influenced by 90s fashion, specifically like the Doc Martens, the chokers, the button-down plaid shirts, the high-waisted jeans, you name it. It was just a really big thing at the time. But that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And my next video, I don't know. I think I'm not going to announce any of my videos anymore because yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the love on the last one. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.